morning, I was telling you about how I've had church 3 or 4 times this week, seems like. And 2 or 3 different times during that, we've had a conversation about being blessed. And each time we had that conversation, somewhere through there came the Beatitudes. And even, as a matter of fact, it went as far as we ended up in one of my classes. We started discussing them. And started realizing a lot of things about them. There's some extremely bold statements in them. But the main thing we need to realize in this is one question that I want you to continuously think about as we're going through today is, what does it mean to be blessed? What do we have to work for to be blessed? I mean, God is gracious to us. God loves us. Sent His Son for us. But how do we get that extra blessing? How do we strive for that excellence? What is it that we really need to do? We're in Matthew chapter 5. I've got 2 different translations of it up here. In which I'm not going to read all the way through on both translations, but there is a couple key points that I want to make that shows in both translations. Starting in verse 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. I started last week. I told you last week that over the next few weeks, and we're going to continue with this, is what I call the 3 G's of Christ. Grow in Christ, gain in Christ, and go in Christ. I think at the core of that is these Beatitudes. You think about that. You think about the fact that many times in the rest of them, Jesus when he started into speaking to a large multitude of people, many times he kind of eased into it a little bit. But not here. He goes straight into it. This is the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount. What is considered to be one of his most famous speakings. And he starts right off. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of righteousness. First thing he says is, blessed are the poor in spirit. Aren't we supposed to try to be as spiritual as possible? We're supposed to try to constantly be working to be closer to Him and to be more spiritual? He says, blessed are the poor in spirit. That caught me. Every time I've read it, it really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Now over in Luke, when you read them, it just says, blessed are the poor. But here, it says, blessed are the poor in spirit. But if you read in the New Living Translation, I really like what it says because it gives a little bit more explanation to it. Same verse in the NIV, very little difference from what the King James says. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom in heaven. The NLT says this: God blesses those who are poor and realize their need for Him, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. So what does poor in spirit mean? Poor in spirit means that we have to constantly be focusing on the fact that we can't do it. It's not us. We need to constantly be focusing on the fact that we have to strive continuously, every day, more and more and more, to push to be righteous, to push to be Christ-like. We have to constantly be pushing ourselves. You see in ball games all the time. You see the last couple minutes of the game. There's always experience that plays into it and things to that effect. But many times what that winning team has that pulls them away from it, that pulls them into the winner's circle, is that desire, that drive, that constantly pushing forward, even thinking, we're 5 points behind, but we can still win this game. They keep pushing forward, they end up winning. They have that desire to move forward, the desire to keep going. Even though it looks like it is impossible, they keep pushing forward because they have that desire. That's what God is asking us to do throughout all of the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit. We're not God. We're not ever going to be God. We're not perfect. We're not ever going to be perfect. But we need to strive to be like that. We need to strive to keep pushing forward so that even though we realize we are poor in spirit, we need to push forward to be stronger in spirit, to get closer to God. Blessed are those who mourn. Each and every day, someone, somewhere, is mourning about something. Whether it be a loss, whether it be hurting, whatever it might be. Mourning is just sadness. Blessed are those who are meek. God blesses those who are humble. That throws right back into the same picture. That we have to bring ourselves down. Each and every one of these Beatitudes tie into one particular word. One word that they tie into. You can tie each one of them all into one verse. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. The word righteousness is acting in accord with the divine and moral law, free from guilt or sin. How many of us this morning can raise our hand and say we're free from guilt or sin? None of us. Because we're not. And we never will be. That's why Jesus died on the cross. But how many of you this morning are striving to be righteous? Striving to be guilt-free and sin-free? I know I am. To be poor in spirit means to realize that we aren't there. To be poor in spirit means to be humble. The whole righteousness and the poor in spirit tie together. Because when we come to the realization that we need Christ, there's just this great opening of our hearts. The Beatitudes in themselves, many people think that they're the attitude we should have. Some people actually have the theology of thinking that you do this, you get that. That's a mainline theology about the Beatitudes. So they think you do this, so if you're poor in spirit, you get the kingdom of heaven. But what does it really mean? What does it really mean to be poor in spirit? To be merciful? To be peacemakers? To be pure in heart? What does all this mean? What each and every part of it means is you cannot take just one of these verses and just strive to be one of them. You have to strive to do each and every one of them. To get those blessings, it says, "Blessed are the poor. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness." Jesus is telling us right then and there, the way that we get blessed is to realize that we're not all that. The way we get blessed is to realize to set ourselves down and get down. Just get down on our knees and show our humbleness to Him. And realize that we can't do it. To get blessed is one of the great things we can earn from God. To get a blessing from God is so amazing. To get a blessing means that you got something right. You finally got something figured out that God wanted you to figure out. See, I look at it in this aspect. Grace is a gift. We will always have grace, and we were always going to get grace as long as we ask for the forgiveness. No matter what is going on, we can always look to God for forgiveness. But the blessings we have to work for. The blessings we have to show an initiative. We have to actually step up and say, "God, I'm going to do your will today. I'm going to do what you want me to do today. I'm going to do your work. You just tell me what you need me to do, and there it is. I will do it." That's where the blessings come from.